I'm 78 years old. I didn't expect to still be here, and I certainly didn't expect to still be learning things this late. But here I am, sitting in a quiet room, finally clear about what I got wrong about life. For most of my years, I thought getting it wrong meant failing, losing everything, making some obvious, dramatic mistake. I waited for that kind of warning sign. It never came. What I got wrong was much quieter than that. So quiet I didn't notice it happening. My days are slow now. I move carefully. I forget words sometimes. The mirror shows a man I don't quite recognize, but the memories feel sharp, like they're trying to make sure I don't miss the point again. It's strange how clarity waits until there's so little time left to use it. When I was young, I believed life was something you figured out by effort. If you worked hard, stayed disciplined, kept your head down, things would fall into place. I believed in order, in plans, in doing the right thing and trusting the rest would follow. I wasn't reckless, I wasn't irresponsible. I did what was expected of me, and I did it well. That's what makes this harder to admit. In my 20s, I was eager to prove myself. I wanted to be taken seriously. I wanted to matter. I confused being needed with being loved, and I didn't know there was a difference. I thought love would naturally grow out of responsibility.
I married a good woman. She laughed easily back then. She believed in me before I believed in myself. I remember promising her stability, safety, a future. I don't remember promising her my time, and I wish I had understood why that mattered more. Work came first, not because I loved it, but because it gave me a clear sense of worth. You show up, you perform, you're rewarded. Simple, predictable. Life outside of work was messier. Feelings, needs, unspoken things. I wasn't good at that part. We had children, and I loved them in the way I knew how. I provided, I protected, I made sure the lights stayed on and the bills were paid. I told myself that was enough. I told myself they'd understand someday how hard I worked for them. What I got wrong was thinking understanding would replace presence. I missed afternoons that mattered. Not because I was cruel or careless, but because I assumed there would be more of them. Birthdays blurred together. School events felt optional if work ran late. I believed consistency was more important than closeness. I didn't notice when my kids stopped running to the door when I came home. I didn't notice when their stories got shorter. I thought that was just them growing up. I didn't consider the possibility that they were growing away. In my 40s, I felt successful. Tired, but successful. People relied on me. That felt good. I liked being the one others counted on. It gave me a sense of purpose I didn't realize was borrowed. At home, I was quieter, less demanding. I thought that made me easy to live with. I didn't see that I was also harder to reach. My wife and I settled into habits. We talked about schedules, not feelings, about plans, not fears. I assumed intimacy was something you earned early and then maintained automatically. I didn't know it needed ongoing care. I got wrong the idea that love sustains itself. The years moved on, promotions came, praise came. I kept thinking I was building something solid, and in many ways I was. But I was also postponing my real life, convinced I'd get to it once things slowed down. They never did. By the time I was in my 60s, my body started reminding me I wasn't in charge. Small aches at first, fatigue that lingered. I told myself it was normal. I still believed time was generous. Then my wife got sick. It wasn't sudden. It was almost worse. It unfolded slowly, appointment by appointment, test by test. I sat beside her in waiting rooms and realized how little practice I had just sitting with someone without needing to fix anything. I wanted to trade places with her. I wanted to go back years and do things differently. Neither was possible. I showed up then, fully. I learned how to listen without distraction. I learned how to be present in silence. And every lesson felt like a quiet accusation. Why now? Why only now? When she died, something in me collapsed. Not loudly, just inwardly. The house didn't change, but it felt unfamiliar. Too much space, too much time. People told me I had done my best. I nodded. I accepted their kindness. But alone at night, I replayed small moments, times she had wanted more of me and I had given her less, thinking there would be another chance. That's one of the biggest things I got wrong. I believed chances repeat themselves. My children are grown now. They live their own lives. They call, they visit. We're on good terms, but there's a distance that politeness can't cover. I feel it in the pauses, in the way conversations stay safe. I don't blame them. I taught them early that I was dependable, not available. At 78, you have a lot of time to think, and not much to distract you from thinking. The noise fades. What's left are the truths you avoided because they were inconvenient. I got wrong the belief that later was guaranteed. I got wrong the idea that sacrifice automatically equals love. I got wrong thinking that being strong meant being self-contained. I spent years believing emotions were something you managed privately so they didn't interfere with progress. I didn't realize they were the point. Success came and went. It doesn't visit me now. Titles don't sit with you in the evening. Achievements don't hold your hand when the room goes quiet. What stays is memory, and memory is honest. I remember moments I rushed through, conversations I half listened to, affection I delayed because I was tired or preoccupied. None of those decisions felt important at the time. That's what makes them dangerous. Life isn't undone by one big mistake. It's shaped by 1,000 small dismissals. I used to think happiness was something you earned after everything else was handled. I didn't know it was something you practice while things are unfinished. Now my days are simple. I eat when I'm hungry. I rest when I need to. I talk to people more slowly. I listen better. Not because I'm wiser, but because I have fewer illusions left. I understand now that what mattered most was never efficiency or discipline or being impressive. It was warmth. It was a kinship. It was choosing people over momentum. I can't reclaim what I missed. That door is closed. Acceptance isn't peace exactly. It's just the absence of fighting reality. If I'm saying any of this to you, it's not as advice. I don't trust advice from someone this late in the game. I'm just telling you what it feels like to finally see clearly, when seeing clearly doesn't change the outcome. Hold the people you love in ways that can't be postponed. Notice them. Let yourself be slowed down by them. The ordinary days are not practice for something else. They are the thing. I thought life was about getting it right. It turns out it's about being there while it's happening. I got that wrong for a long time. Now I know, and knowing has to be enough.